I want. Money that I'm getting for investing, not to flaunt. 10x badass. I'ma give you what you need. Chopper in the air, on the ground, and got it.
Okay, so I have a few questions for you here. First of all, did you encourage your husband to run for presidency?
Oh my goodness. First question. Woo! Good one.
Yeah.
Well, I can answer that probably best once you get to know me a little bit more. But the answer is yes, and there's a reason for that. So we'll get to that. But yes, I did encourage him.
No. We have to get to that. Because this is interesting to me. I did not know that.
It's a question I get all the time. And so, I'll backtrack a bit. Francis has been in office for 13 years. So we are not new to public office or life, to be said. We got married in 2007. In 2009 was his first commission race, so he became a commissioner of the city of Miami at that point. So we've been in this for a long time. We didn't just wake up yesterday and decide to do this. So he was a commissioner for 8 years and then ran for mayor, and now he's in his second term, so an additional 6 years. And the process has been one where you always are asked that question, like, what's next? And what is the right thing for you, your family, for the community? And that conversation had been taking place over the last year. So it was a good year of discerning. And, we're a family of faith. We put a lot in prayer. We discussed. We reflected. And then it was time. It was time to make that decision. And we went back and forth. But, yes, you can't kind of cut someone's wings, if you will. You're not going to stop your spouse or become a barrier. And really, our entire marriage has been based on helping each other move along, and this was just another one of those moments. So, yes, I did.
Wow. So what is your role in the family dynamic? Is it?
It's actually a great, somehow, life happens where they say opposites attract, or how do two people get along? We have a really good dynamic, and I'm not saying that just to say it. It's the truth. We're different personalities, we have different strengths. And he is the head of the household in the sense that he is, my husband, the father of my children. He's the full-blown work. You take care of this area, kind of like right now, actually, because, I'll kind of go back to that. But financial responsibility right now in our marriage, in the sense, like, he's the one driving that bus. And I'm running all the domestic and all that has to do with my private firm. So we complement each other very well. We kind of let each other do our own thing when we need, kind of stay in different lanes, crossover when needed, and it's a great dynamic where we do a little bit of each other's jobs at different times, and it works. It really gels.
Were y'all always on the same page, or did y'all evolve and the marriage kind of strengthen along the way?
Well, when we first got married, I was working in more of the corporate America environment, right? I worked for many hotels, my background in hospitality, and worked in restaurants, hotels, et cetera. And he was just beginning his private practice as an attorney. So I kind of held down the fort on the corporate side, where I was, the larger part of the corporation, in the sense, like, my insurance, everything was through me. And he was a sole practitioner. So he was starting out.
Kind of the breadwinner at that
I
time?
don't know if it was like, I think it was, we were kind of making more or less the same, I think, financially, but I was carrying a big part of that corporate world, right?
Got it.
And he was a sole practitioner. And then we flipped. And I took kind of the boutique firm approach. I was an entrepreneur. I started my own company, small boutique firm. And then he went into more of this, obviously public office. So it was great. And so we have complemented each other along the way in different capacities.
Beautiful. What do you think are some of the challenges that you face being, now you said 13 years, sort of in the public eye and in this political sphere? What are the challenges that you encounter?
Well, I think in public life, everyone expects it to be very, you're always on the spot, you're on camera, you're being watched, you're being judged, et cetera. And there is some truth to that. I obviously am a very private person. My husband grew up in public life. His father was a mayor prior, and I was not. I mean, my family was just not involved in politics at all. So when we met, we had this conversation, this began to kind of unfold, and he said, well, what do you think about me running for office? And I learned quite a bit. I learned early and I learned along the way that there is a very large responsibility when you hold office, and that reflects on your family. But at the same time, I think, just because of who I am by nature, I keep things really even-keeled. It's about being normal. It's nothing, my children we have 2 beautiful children. They go to school like every other child. I do my own groceries. I don't have any, entourage. It's very normal. We try to maintain that normality, and that allows you to live a public life in a very normal way.
Oh, I love that. What about the rewards? Are there rewards to
There
this post?
There are rewards, and it's interesting. I get this question a lot, and they say, well, you must have all these great perks and all these different things, and I'm not necessarily, because you have a responsibility, right? You're an elected position, it's elected office. What I think one of the biggest rewards has been, and this has been something specifically for my children, because my husband was born and raised in the city of Miami, grew up, there was a lot of parts of Miami that I had never seen. There were neighborhoods I had never been to. And when we got married, he opened up my eyes to all these different areas of the city, the districts, et cetera. We represented one of the districts because there's 5 in the city. And we were visiting inner city schools. We were going to park and recreation events. We were going to book bag giveaways. We were going to everything under the sun. And my children were seeing this. They were seeing that vocation of service. And I'm not kidding. My children could play in any park, any parking lot, any group of kids. They don't see anything other than a child.
Mm-hmm. Right.
They know what it feels like to give something to another child who doesn't have as much as they do. For example, book bags, school supplies. Camilla's house, we've gone a few times with them. They've, fed. We've gone in the evenings to see the homeless in the neighborhood and things like that. So that, I would say, is an incredible perk to a reward, is that they're able to see this world and see their community in a different set of eyes, through different glasses. So that's beautiful for them.
Yeah. Is there a particular mindset, or what is the mindset required to be, you're probably about to engage, if you haven't already, in political warfare, which seems like it's getting nastier and nastier. So what is the mindset that you have to remain on course, to not deviate or get disturbed by the lies, the rumors, the scandal, whatever is there? What are you even thinking about? Hey, I got to arm up my mindset right now, or what is it?
Yes, you definitely do. So one of the biggest things when you're running for office in a local level is very different than obviously in a national level. So when we sat down and started really thinking about his presidential campaign, I felt very exposed, because now not only am I going to be seen in our children and our family on a local level, but now on a national level, and I have never been at that level. And I had several questions, sat down with many different people. One of the best conversations I had was with a woman who is a mother of 4, and we had a great meeting over coffee, and I explained to her, I said, this is a huge step, and I want to know, I know you're not going to give me the handbook as to what to expect, but give me what you would give, what you've given yourself many years back before this all started for you. She's she has a very high level position, and she gave me wonderful advice, and she said to me, Gloria, the most important thing that you can do is you, as the mother and as the wife, you have the power to set the tone. This can be as scandalous, dramatic, crazy of an environment as you choose it to be, or you can just maintain the normality that you've done up until now, within limitations. Obviously, travel is going to be a factor, time away from your husband and him of his children. All those things will happen. But as long as you as an individual kind of steer that ship and keep it normal for your children and your family, this will be a more pleasant ride, if you will, for as long as you are in this environment, which, by the way, is, my husband laughs all the time. He says, this is like a game of Survivor. How long do you stay on the island? And in the presidential campaign, that's exactly it. There's metrics, and as you meet them, you move forward or you don't. And in that time, we're taking it step by step, maintaining as cool, calm, and collective as possible, keeping things normal. You know, with this summer, we're traveling with the kids as much as, you know, it's their summer vacation. It's one thing we spoke about. We said, well, we'll wait till after school lets out to announce. And of course, there were other things that played into that decision, but it was nice because the kids didn't feel any different than their life as, you know, their father being mayor. And we've been to Iowa a few times. We've been
Have
to
they
New
ever
Hampshire.
been bullied?
No,
Okay, go on.
no. We've been throughout, you know, this time this summer, they actually really proud about the fact that their dad's doing it, which they're 9 and 5, so as much as they can understand what's happening. But I think it's a perfect time also because that was one of my questions to this woman who I sat with, who is an advisor to me and a mentor. I said, is this the right time? Like, should I wait? Should I push for us to wait? Should I do this? You know, those are normal questions. And she said to me, Gloria, one of the biggest advantages is the fact that your children are in an age right now where they're not too small, where you can't take them with you, and they're still in diapers and the whole thing, and they're not old enough where they can read the paper. And I thought, she's right. And I can somewhat protect them from everything, the good and the bad, if needed.
Very good.
Yeah.
So is that how you protect the family? You
Absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely. I'm a very private person by nature, so I don't have, I have very limited social media. They're all wanting me to open up Twitter and Instagram. I'm like, let's wait. We'll see what happens here.
They meaning the team?
Yeah, just in general.
Does he have a team already?
We do. We do have a very, very great team. Very proud of our team.
Okay, let me ask you something. Y'all ready for this question?
Uh-oh.
Do you think I should encourage Grant to run for president? Not now, not in competition, I'm talking about in the future. What would your advice be to me who does not want to be in that political arena at all? Because I'll tell you what, I can take it myself when it's about me, but if it goes to him or the kids, I don't know if I can be as poised. And I don't know if Elena for president! I guess that's what I want to know. Like, you had a mentor that you were asking. What is your...
I think there is, again, to the original question at the beginning.
Yeah.
There is something very special between a dynamic between a husband and a wife. You obviously are going to share your dreams, your goals. You're going to talk about this. You each have to be your own individual person. You have your own goals. You have your own set of things that you want to achieve. I would always encourage you to have the conversation because you don't know, first of all, where your life what road it will take you as him as an individual, you as an individual, as your family. There's so much good to be done in this world and in this country that needs so much healing. If we don't have people who are courageous to make those decisions, we as individuals in our own communities, everything is scalable, we are going to be in trouble. We need the good people to step up.
Wow.
So it's not easy to say yes, but we have to do the right thing. And right now, this country, in my opinion, and our family's opinion, needs the right people. And if the good people don't do it, who's going to do it?
That's true.
So if Grant comes to you one day and has the conversation,
Oh, he
have
has.
it. Okay. Well, interesting. I was at a dress shop a couple months ago, and she had no idea who I was, and it's like, oh, who are you? No, but I'm saying, like, she didn't know that I was married to an elected official. And she was talking to someone else, and she's like, I would never let my husband run for anything. And she's going on, and I'm very quiet. And this, that, and the other, and da-da-da. And then, so the other person is like, well, you know, her husband's an elected official. She looks at me, she goes, how'd you let him do that? I get that all the time. And I said, well, and I give her my answer. And I think that we have that power to arm ourselves as well. You know, an armor to protect yourself and your family. And a lot of that, I feel, comes from my training in the corporate environment and in hotels, and where I was dealing with different people all day long, you know, 365 days a year. We were always dealing with new people. And if you're able to just kind of know yourself, be sure of yourself, know what you are, who you stand for, everyone's going to have an opinion. You just have to figure out how far you're going to let that opinion get to you.
Right.
So, you can do it.
All right, one day I might be calling you. So why you said a minute ago that you and your family are willing to step up because of where it's going. Where is it going? Where is it headed? Why is this so important to you?
Well, you think about, we're only here for a limited time on Earth, really. There's generations that are going to follow, and there are generations that came before us. My grandparents, my parents lived in a very different reality, a different world than where I live right now, and where I see this country going, and where I want my kids to go.
Where do they live?
Well, my parents were born in Cuba.
Okay.
They came from communist Cuba in 1960. So they began a new life here in a country that gave them that opportunity. They are forever indebted. My grandparents, both sets arrived here with, my grandparents had 4 on one side. My dad is one of 3. My mom's one of 4. With like $5 in their pocket. They ate peanut butter and jelly sandwiches at the very beginning, and all their degrees in Cuba didn't count. So my grandfather, who's a radiologist, was packing boxes at an Army-Navy store to get started and to rebuild their lives here in the United States. So they appreciate and they have that patriotism to this country and that debt to this country, that they taught that love for America to my parents. And that's been passed along. And I think that it's only fair for us to pass that along to our generations so that they be proud of the country that they live in. I really believe that.
How do you protect the empire? How do you, or better yet, how do you know who to let into the circle? Like, do you have like a specific red flags, and when you spot it, they go, like, what is the system to keeping the inner circle protected or allowed to come into, or?
I think that you have to be very well versed in who you are. You have to be really the foundation of who you are as an individual, as a family unit, as a team, and in this case, our campaign teams. We have to know who we are, and we surround ourselves with people who are like-minded, okay?
Yeah.
And want the same things. So on a personal level, for instance, I have a very strong core group of people, but I can count them on one hand, right? We're talking about family aside.
Right.
We're talking about people that can trust. One actually came with me today. She's here. And these are people who are going to speak highly of you, who are going to protect you, who are going to advocate for you when you're not in the room. And that person, those are the people that you need to surround yourself with on a professional level, as a woman, in a small boutique firm, in a very, very robust industry that I worked in for 22 years. I had to know who my peers were and who I could recommend or not, and who were an extension of who I was. And the same thing goes, you can apply it anywhere. You apply it within your circle of friends. You know, if you're married, your spousal friends, like who do you want to spend your time with on the weekends if you have weekends? In my case, I don't have any right now, but when you do, who do you want to spend those dinner times with? Are they like-minded people? Do they believe in the same core values you do? Are they going in the same direction you are, or are they holding you back? and a professional level. So I think it's you can apply it anywhere, at any time. It's surrounding yourself with people who have the same values and morals that you do, and that will get you much further than just kind of trying to fit people in. Right?
Yeah, like have people just there.
No.
Friends.
No,
It's intentional.
intentional.
I love it.
All the way.
Yes.
All the way.
So people ask me this question all the time. Let's see if it bothers you sometimes, because the work-life balance question. But your life is, I'm sure, pretty busy. It's only going to get even busier. So how do you balance it all while fulfilling your duties as the mayor's wife running for president?
So my duties have changed quite a bit since June, well, in the last 2 months, since this announcement. But I think work-life balance comes down to, you have to identify, at this time, for instance, I took if you will, like a little sabbatical or a leave or whatever you want to call it from my own personal business. Because it's not our season, like in events, this is the summer season. It's not in Miami, this is not our high season. So I was able to kind of take a step back, number one. Number two, I have to recognize that I have 2 children in very formative years, 9 and 5, and they need me right now because we're about to go into a school year where all their friends know what's going on, and I need to be available to them. I wanted the flexibility of time and know that I didn't have, kind of something holding over me, like I needed to get done. I needed to concentrate right now in getting these, as much as we can, children, kind of involved with their father's schedule and travel, et cetera, so that they don't feel the absence. I didn't want them to feel the gap or that void if he's traveling as much as he will be and has begun already. And so I needed to kind of maybe, and as a woman, I think we do this very well. We can wear many hats at the same time.
Definitely.
And so I can work, I can play, I can supervise, I can manage, I can do a lot of things. I don't necessarily have to be doing only one at a time. And again, that comes from my corporate background, that training. What do I need to do? Let's execute, let's get it done. And at the same time, have that nurturing part of me that I can enjoy that time and not feel, oh, I'm not doing what I should be doing. So you have to, the work life, your family life, your work life, and in my case right now, this endeavor is making sure that I'm available to my husband, my children, my family, and our team so that we are effective and we can execute.
Question. Would you put it past anyone, or am I far too pessimistic, cynical in my thinking here? But when you said you took the sabbatical, my mind goes, oh, maybe that was a good thing. Like, if the powers to be, whoever they are, don't want your husband to win, do you think that whoever they is, go so far as, could you put it past them to, like, let's say in your events business, to put a plant there that has a bad experience or this or that, to then, or to sue you about something in there, like to cause a rift? I mean, do they go that far in this political arena?
I don't think I'm the
Or is that, am I watching too much TV?
No. I think that, listen, politics is difficult. It is a very, it could be a very, I'm going to use the word challenging environment. But I don't think I'm that important, me, to them. Right now, their focus is him. And for the most part, I feel...
You feel like the family members are safe?
Yeah, well, not completely safe, because they've come after elected officials, wives before, or spouses, et cetera. I just think, be the bigger person, rise above it. My husband wouldn't be one to attack on their end, so we are going to always just take the higher road and hope that people do the right thing. And to be honest with you, myself as an individual and as a professional, I'm not their focus right now. Not at all.
Are there any misconceptions or stereotypes about you as being a public figure that you feel has been put upon you? And
I get feedback. I think...
I like that. I get feedback. I get feedback.
I love it when sometimes I have, speaking about those friends that are on one hand, Gloria, people ask if you're approachable. Yeah, I think I'm pretty approachable, but maybe people don't think I am. Or am I a nice person? Do I have a security detail? Do I, pick up my kids at school? I do everything, you guys, everything. And I have no problem doing it, right?
Yes.
So, thank you. That's a misconception, that I am, coddled and I'm this little perfect, wife that just is a pretty face that shows up for her husband. I do that, but I do a lot more too. And that's really important. So any woman who thinks that this is an easy job, no, you actually kind of have the hardest job in the room. You really
Support, it's called support. Being strong enough to bear the weight of. I know all about it.
Well, and it's also a very special job, I feel. It is the most important job in the room, and I think that I'm also the only person that knows him. And they know that. And so the team, for example, will look my way and say, how's he doing today? I'll just look over. He's okay. He's good. He's good to go. Or, you know what, guys? We got to give him an extra break here. He's a little tired. He's not going to tell you he's tired, but he needs this. Managing that, him, the kids, the schedule, the travel. And I'm a A-type personality, very organized person. So the staff calls me to approve all flights and all the manifests for the trips, etc. I love doing that. It's weird. I really love doing that because I feel like I'm part of the conversation and I know what's going on. If I were removed, then I would feel like you're lost at sea. Does that make any sense?
Yes.
Like if I know where they're going, what he's doing, and I can anticipate and forecast. Yes, I can forecast and participate. I know, okay, in the next 15 days, it's gonna look like this. And I can mentally prepare myself, armor my family, and move forward. That's it. That's all that needs to happen.
Love it. Do you feel oftentimes that women are undervalued or appreciated who do so much for running the behind-the-scenes operations? You're shaking your head yes. Tell me.
I think we all can relate to that. And I don't know if it's a woman versus man thing or that we can juggle a lot more than others, because we can, okay? It's the truth. We can do a lot, and sometimes it's overlooked, and it's okay. That's all right. You don't have to pat me on the back every time I do it. I'm okay with that. I'm strong enough to know what I've done, but yes, it sometimes happens. It sometimes happens in general, but then if you voice it, I think the most important thing is, especially with my spouse, like we sit down every once in a while and he'll be like, okay, what have I missed? Or is everything okay? And I'm like, everything's fine. But, I kind of didn't love when X, Y, Z. If I hold it in too long, it's going to manifest itself in a different way.
Yep.
So I think it's important to say it and move on. That's it.
I agree. This audience is so great, aren't they? Okay.
I'm like shaking their heads like, I get it. I get it.
Oh, I do too. Yeah. And my husband's sitting here watching us today, all proud. I know he's happy.
You already spoke to my husband too. You guys were up on something else together too. Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Okay, I'll end on this note. How important is this election to family and the middle class? Great
question. This election, I would really encourage women. I say women because, first of all, my husband's the only Hispanic candidate right now. So Hispanic demographic.
Oh, yeah, they're liking that.
And suburban women, believe it or not, these two demographics in this country are we need these demographics to step up because sometimes, many a times, they don't. And that's where I feel I can be a voice for him in those environments and amongst those communities because this is a very pivotal moment. I'm not kidding. Even if my husband was not involved in this at all, I am afraid of what I see every single day happening in this country. We need a leader, and we need to step up and share that news with our friends, our family, anyone in our circles. We have to step up and get involved in this cycle. It's very important for the future of this country. And do your homework. I encourage you to feel free to reach out. If you have any questions or concerns, there are many questions that people have. And do your due diligence. learn who these candidates are, truly learn who they are, and participate and engage, because this is very important for our generation and those to come. So thank you. Thank you.
I say, hear the whole side before you decide.
That's great.
Let's give a big thank you to Miss Gloria Suarez. Oh my gosh, thank you. Thank you so much.
Tennis badass. Yeah, I'm after what I want. Money that I'm getting for investing, not to float. Tennis badass.